It's Ivy Slater, and you're listening to Her Success Story podcast, a show where gutsy businesswomen share their success journey. Hi, this is Ivy Slater. Welcome to today's episode of Her Success Story. I have an amazing woman, and we're sitting, as we were sitting over coffee and we were introduced to mutual people, Fran Maier had to come on to Her Success Story. Fran is a serial entrepreneur. She's a super founder with over 25 years experience, pioneering category disruptive B2C and B2B internet companies. A woman before her time, Fran is widely recognized for her leadership as co-founder and first general manager of the online dating service Match.com, which many of you listeners, I'm sure you've heard of. She's also founder of the privacy compliance tech company Trust-E, now known as TrustArc, and founder and CEO of her current venture, BabyQuip, which is the #1 global baby gear rental company. She is also known for breaking boundaries as a Latina businesswoman. Fran, you are a powerhouse. To date, I know you have raised $8.5 million, I believe, in seed funding for BabyQuip, and has nearly doubled since 2001. Fran, I adore what you are doing. It is personal to me. I've talked about it with my family. I've talked about it with my girlfriends who are becoming grandparents. We've needed this. This is amazing. I have so many questions. You could always hear me tripping over myself. Tell me how you got started.
Yeah, so thanks so much. Really, really pleased to be here, Ivy. Thanks for that great introduction. Yes, I've been an entrepreneur, and it's funny because I made a complete shift from privacy to hospitality, sort of on accident. And what happened was in 2012, post-divorce, I moved from Alameda to San Francisco. At the same time, I left Trustee, at least for first full-time work. And I bought a house in San Francisco, 3-story house, started renting rooms within 6 months on the top floor of my house. I was up the street, literally, from Airbnb's headquarters.
There's something ironic there.
I mean, I kind of started doing it on a lark. Like, what's really going on here? Okay, I'm going to try this out. And before you know it, I was making some serious money in, quote, the gig economy. And I was looking at this whole way vacation rentals were changing everything, changing travels. And in 2013, I bought a house in Santa Fe where I am now, which is was my first full vacation home. And Santa Fe is my hometown. So, kind of made sense for me. And it got me thinking, what are the businesses that are going to emerge? And as it happens, a gal from Santa Fe came out to the Bay Area about her business renting baby gear. And in Santa Fe, she was doing $30,000 a year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but Santa Fe is a small town.
Yeah, but for a small town, that's a nice it's a start of business. It's a nice start of business, and it proves a concept can work.
Right. And I mean, so I kind of looked at the numbers, and I took a look at the, competitive environment, and nobody had built a brand at scale to serve this market of traveling parents. Lots of mom and pops, lots of stroller companies around Anaheim and Orlando, Disney, of course. A couple of regional brands, and you looked at their tech stack, and it looked like it was back in the 90s. And I was kind of,
and you're a tech savvy woman. This is your thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of itchy. In fact, I was telling somebody that I had a board seat with GE Capital Bank. That was a really nice little extra side hustle check. And GE sold the bank, and I lost my board seat. So I was kind of like, okay, what am I going to do? And what I know how to do best is build trusted brands. A lot of BabyQuip reminds me of Match because,
Yeah. Because you keep going, because I was going to say, okay, tell me the parallels here.
Right. So Match had to create a category called online dating. BabyQuip, really, we're creating this whole category of renting baby gear. And we rent other stuff too, like beach gear and stuff for your pets. We do parties, we do all kinds of things. But it's also a marketplace. Match.com is a marketplace, so is BabyQuip. And I think the need for trust and safety, that was why Match really became the leader, is because we were focusing on women, and we were focusing on what they needed, and what they needed, especially in the mid-90s, and well, still now, confident that there was trust and safety. So Match was the first to have, guidelines on how to have that first date in person. And that anonymity was especially important back then. There were a lot of things
had that level of protection and safety, which parents are looking for their children.
Right. So prior to BabyQuip, what would you do? You'd maybe borrow from friends, but not all your friends really have the same gear that you want, right? Maybe you'd buy and dump. And nope, I did that. I did that in Hawaii. Poor Hawaii gets, people buy those little mini boards and kid stuff and just leave it because they don't want to haul it, right? Grandparents, which I understand you're going to be one soon.
At some point, yep.
They sometimes buy the gear, but they don't, then the babies grow out of it, So we're really feeling a important need that people have. And today's parents are very particular. They just don't want.
It's very true. I'm seeing this with my children's friends, with my friends of my friends' children, and as their families are expanding, they are specific and particular.
Very much so. So for example, a hotel or a vacation rental might have a crib. Well, is it a full-size crib? Is it a pack and play? Is it a mini crib? It's probably not a snoo. A snoo is the smart bassinet, and
I learned that recently.
You know what a snoo is, okay?
I learned a snoo. I'm like, oh, the baby snoozes in a snoo. I get it.
Yeah. And so if you're used to having a snoo at home, you want one when you travel as well, right? So very particular. Maybe they want to rent the same car seat that they have. And honestly, again, vacation rentals, hotels, and auto rental companies don't do a very good job. I mean, people discuss how gross those car seats are at the auto rental, right? So we're stepping
a little bit about BabyQuip, because now I think I know, because we've talked about it, and I looked at and I learned, and it went online. But so just to help the stories, walk our listeners through, okay, if you were a parent and going on vacation,
absolutely,
I would go out to BabyQuip and do what?
You could go to BabyQuip and you would say where you're going and what dates, and you would be presented with a list, depending on the market, of quality providers. Now, you could say that you want the snoo, so you could just see the quality providers who have the snoo. Now, the quality providers, we have a community of over 1,850. These are mostly moms. They're at your destination, okay? So if you're going to Orlando, they live in Orlando or a suburb of Orlando. They own the baby gear. They clean it, they set it up, they deliver it. They're responsible to making sure that your gear arrives on time, is of the quality, is what you want. And this is a little bit different because you don't want to rent, a crib from one person, a car seat from another person, and you want somebody who's accountable, right? Accountable for that. So we present you with the quality providers. You can look at their reviews, you can look at their gear, you can look at their pricing, and they set all their own pricing. You can look at how close they are to where you're staying, and you would complete the order, and you could just decide, for example, you want to add toys. Maybe you're there for a crib, and maybe then you'll say, okay, well, maybe the baby bath is a good idea, or maybe toys. Think about it. If a child's 1 or 2 or 3 years old and they go to a new place and there's a whole new set of toys, so exciting.
It's huge. It's huge. I mean, I traveled with our little 2.5-year-old nephew a few months ago, and mommy wasn't there, and it was my sister, my daughter, and I who took him on the big airplane, and we had this huge bag of toys. And then all of a sudden we're sitting at lunch and he sees this kid, and he has farm animals and this other kid has different farm animals. And all he wants is the other farm animals because he's used to his farm animals.
Right.
So that concept of like, oh my God, I'm going on vacation. I get all new things for these few days or this week or two or whatever that looks like is massive.
Yeah, massive. And look, today's parents, most of them are both working. They're busy. What they want on vacation is a good night's sleep. They want to spend time with the kids. They want to take great photos and all of that. But if the kids can be occupied and happy as well, everybody's happy.
Everyone's happy.
That's the thing. So it's not good enough to go to Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace to get some of this gear. You want to make sure it's accountable. You want to make sure it's clean. You want to make sure it's safe, and you want the convenience of the delivery and all of that.
And as the co-founder of Match, you put in the standards. You've done this before. This is not your first rodeo. You've put in the standards of excellence.
Thank you. Yes, we have really a commitment to trust and safety that's unsurpassed. I mean, it's we do everything, like we have liability insurance that covers the company as well as the quality providers, because these are people who, this is an important side hustle. These are moms. They're very committed to making sure the families they serve have a great experience, but they don't, what if something happened? You know what? We've never even had a claim. Okay.
Nice.
But if something were to happen, it's important that they're covered. It's also important we have a lot of partnerships with hotels and vacation rental companies and hosts and other kind of people. They want to be sure that they don't have liability for anything happening. We background check all the quality providers. We train them on cleanliness and safety and hospitality and affiliate marketing and social media. So we're actually making entrepreneurs. They are building a business on our platform. They're not just renting the extra crib or car seat or stroller that they have. They actually post photos of how they've reorganized their garage to store all the gear that they're renting out.
So this is a nice, I'm not going to say passive because it takes a bit of some work, but it's nice additional income for young families as well.
Yeah, no,
it's truly a win-win.
Yeah, on average, like this past summer, they brought home over $1,500 a month. And this is where I get so much energy for the business, because let's say we have a private Facebook community and they share all kinds of things. They help each other out. Here's a deal on a crib. Here's how I handled this parent situation. All kinds of things. They're fantastic. They're really giving. But when they reach a milestone, sometimes they'll post like 100 orders or whatever. And they post about what a difference BabyQuip has made in their lives. So one gal posted, she had a great corporate job, special needs kid, had to quit the corporate job. Now she does BabyQuip with her child, and she loves it. Another gal told how she left an abusive relationship, and because she could do BabyQuip with her kids,
significant.
was able to do that. And then another gal said, "Hey, I made enough money to take my own family to Disney World." All those are good. I mean, right?
It's the win-wins. So where do you see, where BabyQuip is today, and what's your next vision? Where's it going next?
Yeah, so we have really tied into the power of a community, the power of a brand. We have a proprietary technology platform. So we're looking at expanding beyond the US. So in this last year, we really pushed a little bit more into international markets like Mexico and Australia, New Zealand, some European locations, Caribbean locations. I think as a travel brand, we kind of have to go where parents are going. So clearly Mexico.
That makes so much sense.
Right. So we've got to do that. One of the things is our quality providers are very, very innovative, and they come up with new things. So we noticed that a bunch of them were renting these soft play setups, which are for kids' parties. So we introduced a new category called party. And these are for kids' parties, 1 to 5 years old kind of thing.
Right.
And that's taken on a new life. A lot of people travel with pets, so we're looking at doing something there. And outdoor gear too, because we're already seeing that our quality providers, I mean, I went to Hawaii and I rented from quality providers snorkels and beach chairs,
Really?
which was fantastic.
So you're building out different streams now.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Now I'm in the middle of a fundraise and it's been tough, I have to tell you, you know. We're doing it on Start Engine
Okay.
and also going to accredited larger investors, and everybody loves what we're doing. They just don't want to give a lot of money to us right now. So, some things are going to have to wait until we raise enough money to really spin them out. I've got a team of only 18 people and
So you're
very,
running nimble.
yeah, we're running lean. Yeah. But I think that's the way to go. We're getting close to, I have a pretty good idea how we could get to profitability, and I think we're going to make it. Look, we survived the pandemic.
I was going to say, you've been doing this for quite a few years already. And I was going to ask about the pandemic and how that, because before everybody started hitting the road, everybody was truly in lockdown, stay home for like 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So we were on our Shark Tank appearance aired on March 6, 2020.
Ouch. That's all I got is ouch.
Right. I had a party at my house. People started to cancel that afternoon, but I still had probably 50 people. Nobody got sick, but that was the last party anybody went to for a long time.
Right.
And we did a number of things. We launched BabyQuip cleaning. This is for local families. So if you have a gross car seat stroller, you could find a quality provider who could clean it. Okay. Nice. And that was because nobody was traveling and we wanted to give our quality providers something that they could do. And I think it really sent an important message. We cut down spending, of course. Why wouldn't we? I had closed some money, so that was good. We cut salary a little bit. Team really got tight. I mean, we were very focused, and we were down about 45% versus 2019. About February of 2021, especially in Florida, we saw a big uptick. And so 2021 was double 2019, and 2022 was double 2021. And this year we're growing about 40%. I think what's kind of good is on the downside, we lost a lot of customers because they couldn't repeat during the pandemic, right? And then the kids age out.
And then you
on the other
age out.
Yeah. On the other hand, I think travel has gone from a nice to have to an essential. And I think that's a very important trend that we're going to be able to take advantage of.
Well, it's interesting. I see, my kids are, 31 and 28. So the 31-year-old is in a group, and my niece is 33, so I see these groups of young people who are starting families, et cetera. And travel is important to them. And also their network is spread out. So their network is, right? Their network is all over the country, friends, this, that, and the other thing. And now once you start traveling with family, what you're offering at BabyQuip is, it takes such relief off the parents because there's so much less they could just, and they're the online, right? They grew up with technology. They're the quick to go, hit the computer, hit the phone, and the resources are there. And most importantly, it's about trusted resources. Right. Because that's in a brand.
Right. I love building a strong brand. I think this, this I knew. What I didn't know coming into it, and which has been eye-opening and fun for me, is how important to this generation too is social media and influencer marketing. Blows me away, and podcasting too, for that matter.
Absolutely.
These are really important ways of reaching people and building a brand sort of cost effectively, which are whole new channels. We just crossed over 300,000 Instagram followers. Super exciting about that. The other thing that I knew, but I really appreciate the power, is the power of community. You know, we're going to do probably 90,000 orders this year, close to it. And I only have 3 people in customer service. And yeah, right. And we have a 94 net promoter score. Okay, so customers are happy with it, right? And the reason is this community takes care of each other. Like I mentioned, they help. And I think it also contributes that we lose quality providers. Of course, there's churn, but it's mostly for life reasons. You know, a new baby, new job, they're moving. You know, I still, you know, have a bunch of them that we recruited in 2017 and 2018. So that's pretty exciting. It's, like I said, very motivating for me.
So what has surprised you in this piece of this journey? In this part, so and I'd say, because I want to kind of capture that. That's a very broad question. What has surprised you in the build of BabyQuip in your career?
Like I said, the power of the social media, the power of the community. I would say, you know, I have the distinct pleasure of working with my oldest son, so that's kind of interesting and fun and unusual. I would say on the downside, it's hard to raise money. I mean, we are a good brand making a big difference in people's lives, growing very steadily, in fact, doubling in 2021 and 2022. And it's still kind of hard. And, you know, Ivy, women only get 2% of venture capital.
I was just going to say, so let's talk about, okay, you know, the money, the challenge of raising money and to begin with, but then being a woman-owned business, you would think, oh my goodness, there's more doors open. There should, right? There's more doors open based on.
I've got some great investors from who are dedicated to supporting women, but I just really continue to be astounded by how low that number is. And 2%. It can't be that women are 2% stupider than men. I mean, you know.
And it can't, and it's not by fact.
No, it's not.
It's not by fact that women startups, right? Women business owners are not 2% in the marketplace either.
Right. I mean, if you want to look at small businesses overall, I think women start more than men. So there's incredible bias in the system.
Yeah.
And then, of course, right now we're in sort of a tech downturn. And family stuff just is not as sexy, especially now, as AI and as crypto was, you know, a couple of years ago.
Right. And yet, Fran, the one thing we know consistently that has not changed for hundreds of years is family.
Oh, yeah, no.
Right. So, you know, right, different, like we had crypto as a trend. We have different trends in the marketplace. We have technology as a trend, this, that, and the other thing. The one thing that has stayed consistent is young people have families and young people travel. And if anything, that's going to be more consistent. So it's going to be exciting to watch you continue to build. And I know the money will come. First of all, I know how good you are. And we're some women who dig in their heels.
So hard. I mean, that's my problem.
We have some women who dig in our heels and just, you know, I'll always say is no is not yet, not ready, not now.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's how I've always looked at no. It's like, okay, that just, it's not about me. It's not no to my brand. It's not not personal. It's not yet, not ready, not now. And okay, we'll just, you know, and the next one there is a next that will be positive.
You know, the thing is I feel like I'm such a gal, you know, and what I mean by that is the words that get told about you are resilient, persevere, and it's like those are good words. I'm not ashamed of those things, but you know, I want to hear visionary. I want to hear impactful. You know, and I get those words too sometimes.
I was going to say, I think BabyQuip is pretty damn visionary.
Well, thank you.
Again, on a personal level, because I see the not just my children and my family, but my friends' children who are having kids, and how they're traveling, and it's a huge service. So, Fran, can you share one tip you might share? You founded a few companies. You have been a leader for a long time, I'll say. So we're both of the same ilk there.
Yes.
Not throwing anybody under the bus. I'll take you under my bus. What tip for the young founders, for the young ones who are finding the challenges? What tip do you have for them?
I've got a couple of things that I talk about. One is, and I've seen so many founders just get overwhelmed with the amount of work and the amount of challenge. And I say, don't solve tomorrow's problem today.
Ooh.
In other words, focus, because my experience is startups have their own momentum, and you do this thing, and then it's this thing, and then you tackle this thing. And it can be very overwhelming at the beginning, but it's really just taking one step at a time, that's one. Another one is, a good idea today is better than a good idea tomorrow. Right. So, and it could be everything from a new tagline or a new marketing channel or a new way of looking at things. But, the sooner you can do those things and test them, the better. So those are just a couple of things.
And Fran, how can our listeners connect with you?
So a couple of ways. They can find me on LinkedIn, Fran Maier, Maier. Of course, you could go to babyquip.com. And if you're interested in supporting our fundraise, go to Start Engine and search for BabyQuip. And I have something for you. We have a promo for $20 off any order of $100 or more. And the code is, guess what? Success.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you for doing that for Her Success Story community.
Very welcome.
And so the young parents out there, I want to hear how you're using BabyQuip. I want to hear how, by listening, how this word has spread and the impact it makes. It always takes one person to just begin a ripple effect. Fran, thank you for joining me here today. It's Her Success Story.
It was great to enjoy my coffee with you, Ivy.
Yes, we had a lovely morning coffee chat. For those of you who are listening to Her Success Story during your morning coffee, let us know. Reach out, make a comment here. I always say this at this point in the show. Take a breath and take a moment and think about, by listening in today, what your one takeaway that you're taking forward. Put that down. You could make a note in your phone, an old-fashioned piece of paper, whatever works for you. And then define one action that you're going to take. I love that you come and join us and listen to Her Success Story and all the amazing interviews we have. But we always also want to make sure we're supporting you in your journey and your actions. Thank you for joining me on the show today, and see you next time with more wonderful interviews. If you enjoyed today, pass that forward. Make a comment on social media. As Fran said, social media is huge. See you next time.